Mayor, members of the council, I have several items to review with you this evening. The first of those is an update on the status of the 33rd and Broadway intersection improvements. The contractor is Allen Contracting, and they basically have completed most of the work on the southbound through lanes. They're currently working on the southbound to eastbound left turn lanes, and I believe their plan is to open all of the southbound lanes to traffic at some point this week. Does that knock on Formica? In addition to that, the northbound lanes have been realigned to allow room for the installation of the storm sewer. The traffic lanes on 33rd have been reduced to help eliminate some of the driver confusion, and the existing signals are also being modified to coincide with those traffic switches as well. This is an ODOT project. It began in July, and the estimated time frame for completion is still the same as it was initially, about a year, so we're looking at next July. The contract amount is almost $5.5 million, and our 20% share of a little over $1.1 million will come from the 2000 capital improvement sales tax. So in a nutshell, they're making good initial progress. The second project is the status of the Intelligent Traffic System, or ITS. We've been working with ODOT to get the contractor, which is Mid-State Traffic Control, to complete the remaining phases of Phase 1, and those completion items include the installation of the remaining conduit in front of UCO. There's a cabinet they need to install at Bauman, and they also need to replace some left turn signal heads. The contractors asked ODOT for additional work days, and we believe that some of those will probably be given to them. Just as a reminder, the cost of Phase 1 is about $3 million, and the city's 20% share will also come from the 2000 capital improvement sales tax. In addition to that, the design work for Phase 2 is almost completed, and that phase will include 26 different intersections along Broadway. We're still reviewing funding options in terms of how we're actually going to fund the project, but at this point, the estimated price tag for Phase 2 is also about $3 million. So hopefully soon, Phase 1 will be completed. The third item is an update on water storage and maintenance facility upgrades at the golf course. As you know, our people have been reviewing different options for a long-term sustainable water supply at the golf course. You'll recall that back in the spring, the 50-year-old water storage tank developed significant leak problems, and we had to move into a temporary solution that allowed us to get through the current season, hopefully for a couple of years after that as well. But we also know that we need to identify the most viable long-term option for water storage. Through an RFP process, we've hired Poe and Associates to review the situation both for permanent water storage and also for supply. One option that we're somewhat excited about is the possibility of harvesting or collecting rainwater from the course, diverting it into various storage tanks around the course, and then you can pump that to a central storage facility on the course as well. That option would also have a positive impact on the adjoining homeowners in light of the unusually large rains we've had in recent months at the course. We think, again, that's a fairly viable alternative, but we don't know the cost yet, so we're somewhat optimistic about that. The study will also review the efficiency of our irrigation system because we think improvements in that area might help reduce the overall water needs at the golf course. As far as funding for all of this water storage, we haven't determined that yet, just because in part we don't know what the total cost will be. However, because the water storage concerns have been our top priority for the last 6 months, the time frame for a new maintenance facility has been delayed, as we need to further review that location in light of the storage option that we ultimately select. Our people are looking at a prefabricated chemical storage building, as well as an area that can be used as a separate storage area for bulk materials as well. Both of those facilities we think will be funded through the Park Tax Fund. Another item that we have is the groundbreaking for the Spring Street Trail. This is a long-awaited project, that's putting it mildly, but we're just about here. The project will be formally initiated at 9 in the morning on Saturday, the 24th of October, at the site of the proposed Wellness Park, which is at the intersection of Fox Lake Lane along the I-35 frontage road. It's a 3.2-mile trail that will run under the intersection to Spring Creek Park at Arcadia Lake. This trail is completely city-funded with a total price tag of about $2.9 million. All of that funding comes from the 2000 Capital Improvement Sales Tax. That groundbreaking will also formally kick off the fundraising effort by the Arcadia Lake Coalition to raise private money to help with the construction of the remaining trail that would run completely around the lake as well. So we're looking forward to that event as well. The last item is an update on our sales tax. We're now 4 months through our current fiscal year, and our sales tax collections remain positive, although we're still slightly below what we projected in our budget. Our September collections were only nominally above last year, basically 0.75%. And so cumulatively now for the first 4 months, we are about 1.9% ahead last year, and that compares to our 2.5% budget projection. So we're still a little bit below where we thought we were, but we're still positive. So with that, Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report.